I had never heard of living donation for a liver until last August. My uncle had been ill for quite a while, and we had gone out for lunch with my aunt, and he was out getting some treatments, and we were waiting for him to come, and my wife and I were sitting with her, and she mentioned something about the things that they were looking into. And then sort of the phrase living donation came up because they were looking at both kind of regular donation and seeing if there were living donors out there. And sort of said, hang on a second, like, what are you talking about? And then she explained it and said, well, I was like, well, you know, I would do that. Almost immediately after that, me and both of my brothers started going through the process to put our applications in. You know, there's very few things that we have control, like real control over in life, but we can control what we do when there's adversity. I would like to live in a world where this sort of thing happens. And that was really what started getting me down the road. But, you know, as I started to look into it, there's a lot that has to happen first. So I decided I'm just going to take this, you know, one step at a time. And the first thing was putting the application in. So I started doing the testing first, and, you know, that was a real process. And I have to say, the people at University Health Network, I was already feeling pretty good about it, but once I started talking to the nurses and the doctors and the specialists and all the care folks there, I just started getting you know, more and more confident in terms of actually going through the procedures. So by the time came in December, when we got the call and that yes, all of the pipes matched up and that it was a match in terms of size and location and what they needed, I was ready, and we actually scheduled the surgery for January at that point. What was amazing about it was even a few days after the surgery, the new liver was already processing toxins, and, you know, I was a little bit ticked off because we were almost competing for getting up and doing the walking and moving around. And in the first couple of days, you know, he was doing more laps than I was around. I was like, oh, I got to catch up with him. But it was really good to see that even after that big surgery, that he was feeling better so much quicker. Probably a couple of weeks after, my wife and I had been over for a visit, and we were leaving, and I was going to be heading home in a few days, and we were just talking about things that were going to happen in the summer and getting into the fall. And he sort of looked down the stairs and said, yes, we'll talk about what's happening in the future now that there is one. And it was just, I mean, even saying that, it kind of gets the hair standing up on the back of my neck. If anyone is at the point where they're starting to consider, I would certainly have nothing to say to dissuade them. Canada is a great place to be doing this. I mean, the track record's fantastic, and I just felt the whole time like I was in very good hands. So I would certainly encourage them to go ahead with it. I can't see any situation where they would regret it. As far as the scar being there, I don't know if this is strange, but I'm quite pleased with it. You know, being involved in the health system, the screening, the studies that they have tied up to it, spending the time in the hospital, spending the time with my aunt and uncle, and so the whole thing was such an adventure, and I almost look at that as a you know, memento of the adventure, and mark of something that this is kind of a unique experience to go through.